My name is Chief Strongblood. I am St. Vincent and the Grenadines' favorite and most editor. I am the diaspora machismo. Coco Gauff won the Roland Garros or the French Open 2025 in fine style. But a matter of weeks later, she lost in the first round in straight sets at Wimbledon to WTA number 42 seed Diana Yastremska. Coco Gauff, who was ranked number 2 in the world by the WTA, lost in the first round in straight sets to the number 42 seed. Had nothing to do with skills and playing ability, but it had to do with something far more deeper and sinister than tennis. What is this, you may ask? In order to find out, you'll have to stay to the end. Let us start at the beginning. At the conclusion of the 2025 French Open women's final, Aryna Sabalenka made some remarks that left a bad taste in the mouth of tennis fans, officials, and tennis players past and present. This is what Aryna had to say.
I have to say in the past 2 weeks I played really tough matches, really incredible players. I have to say in the past 2 weeks I played really tough matches, really incredible players. It felt like she was hitting the ball from the frame. Somehow magically the ball lands in the court and you kind of like on the... I was just making unforced errors. Like, I don't know, I have to check the statistics. I think she won the match not because she played incredible, just because I made all of those mistakes from, like, if you look from the outside, kind of like from an easy balls. And Iga, you know, and then you go out and you play really bad. Like, I don't know, I think if Iga would win me another day, I think she would go out today and she would get the win. It just, you know, like...
What Sabalenka said here is that Coco Gauff did not beat her in the finals of the Roland Garros 2025, but she beat herself. She further said that if Iga made it to the finals instead of her, Iga would have surely won the finals of the French Open or the Roland Garros 2025. In order for us to put Sabalenka's statement into perspective, we must understand who Iga is. The Iga that Sabalenka referred to is the Polish player Iga Swiatek, and at the time of the statement, Iga was ranked number 13th by the WTA. Iga is also the bronze medal holder of the 2024 Olympics Games in tennis, and Iga went on to win Wimbledon 2025. Although Iga is no tennis scrub, she is no number 2 seed either, the ranking that Coco Gauff currently has. So when the world number 2 seed Coco Gauff lost in straight sets in the first round of the Wimbledon to the number 42 seed Diana Yastremska, it seems like if Sabalenka was a prophet. Maybe Sabalenka was right. Maybe Coco Gauff is not special. After Coco's disappointing loss, Coco Gauff, her team, and her fans made the same old sorry excuse. Coco is not good in playing on grass. Really? What are you trying to tell me? That Coco Gauff was intelligent enough, she was smart enough, and she was skilled enough to overcome the unexpected inclement weather that discolored the female finals at Roland Garros or the French Open, but she is not skilled enough to play with the same level of skill on grass court? What is the difference? The courts are the same size, the nets are the same height, the balls are the same balls. There's only one significant difference, and that is the surface is not clay or concrete, but the surface is grass. We must also consider that this was not the first time Coco Gauff has played on the grass court. Coco Gauff have played on grass on many occasions. She have practiced on grass more occasions than she have played, and she even practiced on grass before the Wimbledon 2025. So you mean to tell me Coco Gauff is ranked number 2 in the world, the second best female tennis player in the world, and she is unable to win one set against the WTA number 42 seed? Maybe Sabalenka was correct in her evaluation of Coco. Just maybe Coco is not special. I will say this without any fear. Coco is not just special. Coco is a tennis goddess playing the game of tennis today. Serena Williams is known as the GOAT of female tennis. Coco Gauff have the potential to excel to such an extent that she will eclipse all of Serena Williams' accomplishment in the game of tennis. And time is going to prove me right. Let us not pretend. Sabalenka holds some very strong disaffection for Coco Gauff. And it does not matter how she acts or what she says. Deep down in her heart, she holds some strong disaffection for Coco Gauff. Let us not forget or pretend that tennis is a white sport. Tennis is a white sport. Tennis is managed by white people with white organizations. It is these white managers and their white organizations that are responsible for organizing the major tennis tournaments around the world. So while Venus Williams, Serena Williams, Sloane Stevenson, and Coco Gauff and the other black tennis players on the professional tennis circuit are accepted in tennis, players like Aryna Sabalenka, Amanda Anisimova, Iga Swiatek, Diana Yastremska, and the other white players on the professional tennis circuits all belong on the circuit. There is a difference, and it does not matter how great are the achievements of the non-white players. They will never belong. They will always be accepted. The long and short of the story is, tennis is a white sport. African American athletes are always proud to represent their country, but the African American do not understand the difference between national pride and country pride. The African American thinks that national pride and country pride is the same thing, but they are not. In order for us to understand the difference between national pride and country pride, we must first understand what is a nation. A nation is a group of people that has the same or a common ancestry. So while the African American is caught up in celebrating and working towards country pride, the Caucasians nation are not so interested in country pride, but they are more interested in national pride. White American will rather see Sabalenka defeat Coco Gauff any day. For a win for Sabalenka is a win for the white nation. The truth is, there is 195 countries in this world, but there are only 8 nations. The 8 nations are the Africans, the Asians, the Indians, the Arawakis, the Polynesians, the Arab nation, the Israelite nation, and the Caucasians nation. The African nation constitutes every black person that is found on the continent of Africa. The Indian nation constitutes those people from India, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, etc. The Caucasians nation constitute all the Europeans in Europe, or wherever you find the Europeans in the world. Those in America, those in Canada, in South Africa, as well as the Israelis and the Jews. The Israelite nation are the descendants of the transatlantic slave trade. Those black people in America that were descendants of slaves. In South and Central America, in the Caribbean, and in Europe. They are the Israelite nation. The Arawaki nation are those native people that are found in North America, which includes Canada, South America, Central America, and the Caribbean. South America, like the Aztec, the Indian, the Incas, the Mayas. The Caribbean, the Kalinagos. I am sure you get the idea now. Let us not forget, every white person in the United States of America even down to the fifth and sixth generation Caucasians. They can tell you with a 99% degree of accuracy what are their European lineage. And most of them still speaks their mother's tongue. When an African is granted citizenship in the United States of America, they refer to themselves by the name of their country origin and they add American to it. For example, the Ghanaians refer to themselves as Ghanaian American. The Nigerian refer to themselves as Nigerian American. The Ethiopian refer to themselves as Ethiopian American, etc., etc., etc. But the children of slaves that reside in America refer to themselves or are called African American. There is a big divide here. The Caucasians want to be perceived as being the best at everything. And for the Caucasians, perception is more important than reality. It does not matter whether they are the best or not. As long as they are perceived as being the best, they are quite satisfied. And they will do anything to gain and maintain that perception. And the rules, value, and the law will not stand in their way.
9 uncovers huge racial disparities in the people stopped by DC police and a department not following a law meant to fix frisk.
Do y'all do that to white people?
Frisk.
Do y'all do that to white people?
And does being black make you suspicious to a police officer? I mean, I think that
great question.
Filing when black people feel they are stopped and questioned by police because of the color of their skin.
Let us use Venus Williams as an example. Early in Venus's tennis career, she came down with fibroids. You may be asking yourself, what is fibroids? Fibroids is a non-cancerous or a benign tumor that grows in the uterus of a woman of childbearing age. Fibroids is not a threat to life, but fibroids greatly affects one's quality of life. The signs and symptoms of having a fibroid are as follows: an enlarged abdomen, excessive bleeding during menstruation, sharp stabbing pain in the abdomen, back pains, nausea, and vomiting. As the fibroids grow, the abdomen gets bigger, as is the case when a woman is pregnant.
Olympic gold medalist and tennis champion Venus Williams is one of the greatest athletes in the world. But for years, she was secretly dealing with a medical condition that nearly sidelined her.
Can you talk me through your symptoms? What were they like for you?
My symptoms were extreme pain, so much in pain that maybe you'll throw up or you can't get off the ground. I've missed practices because of that, just, hugging the toilet.
But the source of her pelvic pain and heavy bleeding was something else: fibroids, benign tumors that can grow in the uterus.
I didn't know it was something like this, big like an orange.
The now 45-year-old says she had a fibroid diagnosis for years, but doctors dismissed her symptoms.
One doctor told me, at the time I was maybe like 37, and he said, this is a part of aging, this is normal.
One doctor told her she only had one choice.
A hysterectomy was recommended to you.
Yeah, I never.
Williams ultimately got a myomectomy with Dr. Shirazian, which involves removing fibroids from the uterus.
For more than 10 years, Venus Williams went undiagnosed with such an easy-to-diagnose medical condition. The question we have to ask is, why would Venus Williams, one of the greatest active tennis players in the world, go with fibroids undiagnosed for more than 10 years, bringing her tennis career to an abrupt and untimely end? Let me tell you here, Venus Williams's fibroids condition did not go undiagnosed. It is a case where the diagnosis was not brought to Venus's attention. I know you may be asking yourself, why would this happen? I will tell you why this happened. The finals in the Grand Slam tennis tournaments became too black. So for Serena Williams and Venus Williams dominated women's tennis. Let us not forget that tennis is still a white sport. Would you believe that Serena Williams and her sister Venus Williams appeared in 9 Grand Slam finals facing each other as opponents? Venus Williams' persistent poor quality of life was the easiest and most effective way to take some of the blackness out of women's tennis. In 2024, Venus Williams had a proper diagnosis and her fibroids problem was taken care of. At this time, Venus Williams was 45 years old. Serena Williams, her younger sister, have already retired from playing tennis. The powers that be were of the opinion that with Serena Williams' retirement, there was no way Venus Williams would ever come back to play tennis. However, in 2025, Venus Williams decided at 45 years old to make a comeback, and she started a tennis comeback tour. In August of 2025, Venus Williams was awarded a wild card to enter the US Open. You may be asking, what is a wild card? A wild card is a preferential treatment that is given to someone who do not qualify to enter a Grand Slam, but either have a big name or have been playing very good consistently. A wild card will allow them to enter a major tournament, even though they do not qualify to enter the tournament. To Venus Williams and her supporters, this seems like an honor. But to the critical, objective eyes, this is no honor. Venus Williams getting a wild card to enter the US Open is no honor. At Venus's age, it is important that she play consistently in the smaller tournaments so she can reacquaint herself with the challenges of playing tennis in a professional circuit. It's an opportunity for her to work on her stamina, to assess and tweak her games, work on the basic and fundamental techniques, and redevelop the mindset of a champion. In short, accepting a wild card is not in Venus's best interest at this point. The WTA is hoping for a Jake Paul effect. The WTA, in granting Venus Williams a wild card, is hoping that some unknown white girl will rise to tennis prominence by defeating such a big name like Venus Williams in the US Open. Although the wild card was given to Venus Williams with the hopes that her appearance in the US Open will propel some unknown white girl into tennis prominence, if there is one woman who is able to foil the plots of evil against her, it is Venus Williams. Let's get back on track. Maybe you have never considered this. Did you realize that everything we know about everything we learn from or told to us by the Caucasians nation? We learn about the Arabs and the Arab culture from the Caucasians. We learn about every nation and the nation's culture from the Caucasians, and those nations' culture from the Caucasians. If an African American wants to learn about African American history, he must present himself to a white institution from which he will be taught from a white created syllabus about his own history. The same thing goes with medicine, law, science, etc. Do you want to know what is crazy? If an African wants to become qualified in African studies or African history, that African must come to the West, present himself to a white university or college, and from a white created syllabus. And more than likely, he will be taught of African history by a white scholar. The white man told us everything about every nation on the earth. But what did the white man told us about himself? Absolutely nothing. Let me ask you this question. What do you know about the white man? Absolutely nothing. We often wonder, where did the white man come from? And since the Samis are the original people of Europe, when did the white man get to Europe? Why did he leave the place where he lived before he got to Europe? And what was the relationship he developed with the Samis on arrival to Europe? All of these are very important questions, but they are clouded in mystery. And every day we are discovering that everything that we know are false. Yes, the things we believe to be true, they are all false. They actually lie to us about everything. The world believes that we and the Caucasians are the same. The only difference between us are the color of our skin. I have a news flash for you. This also is a lie. We are not the same. The Caucasians possesses powers and abilities the other nation do not have. They use these powers and abilities on us and against us, unknowingly and unaware to us. They have the ability to affect our moods and our emotions. They have the power to put thoughts into our minds and the ability to frame those thoughts. So we will perceive those thoughts to be our thoughts and very often we act on those thoughts that were generated by the Caucasians and placed within our minds as if they were our thoughts to our detriment and to their benefit. Another thing you may have never considered. Each of us have friends, and when asked, we can effectively articulate why we like a person or why a person is our friend. But this is not so with our friendship with the Caucasians. We often know they are nice, and we often know that we like them. But why are they nice? And why do we like them? We can never properly articulate that. Just like that, the Caucasians are able to change our perception of them without any evidence, without them doing anything nice or anything you can articulate. But we know they are nice and we know we like them, so we become suspicious of the others around us that are not white. Let me take this opportunity to tie everything together. When I saw the Vine or the short video of Coco Gauff and Aryna Sabalenka dancing on social media, immediately I know what was happening. But I had to wait to see if my sneaking suspicion can be confirmed. However, when I saw the number 42 seed, Diana Yastremka, dispatched Coco Gauff in the first round in straight sets in the 2025 Wimbledon, I knew my suspicion was correct.
Swing on that serve. Took Yastremska way outside the alley. She went for broke.
In order for Coco Gauff and Aryna Sabalenka to perform that short dance before the fans in public, they would have to spend some time together rehearsing that dance. Especially because both of them were out of their element. They were now dancing. Upon further investigation, I discovered that both Coco Gauff and Aryna Sabalenka spend a significant amount of quality time together. They play tennis together. They shared a lot of light moments with tense laughter together. They took photos together. And they spent a significant amount of time rehearsing the dance they performed. When Coco Gauff met with Aryna Sabalenka to prepare for the dance, Coco, in her naivety, was trying to mend fences she did not break. Fences she had no rights trying to mend. Coco Gauff was like a sitting duck, exposed to Aryna and her team. The WTA number 2 seeds was unprotected, unaware, and had no knowledge of what was happening all through her innocent meeting with Aryna Sabalenka and her team. While Coco Gauff was trying to foster camaraderie, goodwill, and sportsmanship among athletes, Sabalenka had a more devious and sinister plan up her short sleeve, plans Coco Gauff would never know about. Sabalenka and her team was working on Coco Gauff's emotions. They were dismantling her confidence. They were also impacting her tennis memory. In other words, they were subliminally dismantling those qualities in Coco that makes Coco dangerous on the tennis court. It was their intent to transform Coco from a confident, mentally strong youth to a quagmire of unhealthy emotions that today disfigures the sweet and always thoughtful Naomi Osaka's life. My heart goes out to Naomi Osaka.
Okay, are we still friends?
Yeah, we're good, we're good.
So you see, it's all good, guys. Chill out.
One thing I'm sure of, this meeting between Coco Gauff and Arina Sabalenka to mend fences and to build bridges was not Coco Gauff's idea, but it was the idea of either the WTA or the British Tennis Association, the organizers of Wimbledon. What is going to happen? Sabalenka is going to make a sudden and mysterious disappearance from the tennis circuit, and tennis in general, never to be heard from again. It's not difficult for Naomi Osaka or Coco Gauff to regain their tennis standing, but they must first repair the damage that was done to them. The reality is, it is now Coco Gauff and Naomi Osaka's turn to dominate female tennis, but they must first overcome the hurdle that was placed in their path. Like this video, share this video, leave a comment on this video. Let me know what are your thoughts about this topic. Remember to like or subscribe based on where you are looking from. There are many more videos like this right here. So go down and peruse those videos and let me know what are your thoughts. My name is Chief Strongblood. I am St. Vincent and the Grenadines' favorite and most editor. I am the Diaspora Machismo.